three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. And a lot going on. That's the first road sweep when trailing in the seventh inning or later of each game in Yankee history. First road sweep this season, third overall, and they picked up 3 games on the Rays in the American League East.
Jamison Tyone, he even admitted after the game that he's in a little bit of a search mode on what pitches to throw when he does get ahead in the count. And Michael, you noted that during that start, that even when he did get 2 strikes, he seemed confused on what pitch to throw, the curveball or the slider. He needs to figure that out. So it's not only execution, it's strategy as well with Jamison Tyone tonight.
Well, Matt Olson in June has been the man. 14 games, 431, 5 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Met fans scratching their heads right now and going, well, why is Jet Lowry playing? He didn't play in 2 years for the Mets, but he's actually done a pretty good job back with the Oakland A's. Elvis Andrus is the new shortstop this year. He will bat 9th.
Jamison Tyone gonna toe that slab in the boogie down here.
Now let's take a look at the defense behind it, presented by Geico and Duhart, Gardner, and Judge. That's the outfield left to right. In the infield, Urshela, Torres, Odor, and LeMahieu. Higashioka behind the plate, and he will catch. Well, the A's have their best record at 70 games since 1990. They are 43-27. They've won 6 in a row, 8 of their last 9. And in the month of June, they are 12-2. And that's the best record of any team in baseball. The Yankees coming off that sweep, they are 36-32 on the year. So this begins a 3-game set against the Oakland Athletics. Bob Melvin brings his A's into town. And Aaron Boone has his Yankees ready. Connor's ready. Tyone's ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway. Home plate umpires Bruce Dreckman, Sean Barber at first, John Tumpane at second, Marvin Hudson is over at third. He's the crew chief. Grounded foul, 0-2. So Canna has a .251 batting average, but he gets on base at a .374 clip. Pretty good leadoff hitter, and you can't get the ball near him because he will take the hit by pitch. He's been hit more than any batter in baseball, been hit 13 times. Ground ball is short. Gleyber Torres. 1 away. All right, let's check out the keys to the game, brought to you by your local Kia dealers.
Well, let the good times roll after a huge sweep in Buffalo, and the gates are open to everybody at Yankee Stadium. It's time to have some fun playing baseball and keep swinging. Offense is so much better. 5+ runs, 7 out of the last 9 games. You just have a better feeling watching this offense. And it's time. Coney has talked about Tyone. He has a big opportunity here to keep this winning going. He needs to forget about what's happened and just try to pitch well from now on.
Laureano takes a strike. Kind of a wave at that one. Laureano just came off the IL. He had a right hip strain. He'd been out since May 28th. He's an outstanding outfielder. Can go get him with anybody.
He's one of those fun players. It's you know, he runs the bases, 8 stolen bases. He hits home runs. He's a great defensive player. And as I talk about him, he gets to walk back to the dugout from swinging to strike 3.
This has been Tyone's best and most effective pitch, that 4-seamer up. That one's been good for him all year.
6 pitches, 6 strikes, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Matt Olson. Popped up. LeMahieu cannot make the play. It's over the screen.
Well, Coney, if you're a pitcher, this is what you want. You want their stud hitter, Olson. You want him coming up with 2 outs, nobody on. If you get behind, you could pitch around him, try to make great pitches. This guy right here, look at those numbers. One of the better hitters right now in the American League.
Well, he's thrown 8 pitches, 8 strikes, and the count 0-2 on Olson. Well, OPS, this guy's pretty good at it. He's 3rd in the American League since May 27th behind Scope and Carlos Correa. And the 0-2. That one's driven to right field. 1-0 A's into the second deck.
Well, Michael, we saw this in Philadelphia when he couldn't get out of the first inning. He had no problem getting up 2 strikes. But, you know, Olson, if you make a mistake, and this was a glaring mistake, fastball right there, right down the middle of the plate, 0-2, 1-0 Oakland.
19th home run, his 50th ribby.
I mean, you just can't miss that as a hitter, and you can't expect it 0-2 either. And Nick, only you can touch on this. I mean, 0-2, you just cannot throw that pitch.
You can almost see in our camera angles, we get such good shots of the spin, and he missed his location. You could tell. Down there is not where you want to be, Paulie. 0-2 against that hitter in this ballpark. Watch the spin, the 4-seam. You see it's got a little cut to it. It's a little looser spin than some of the other 4-seamers we've seen him throw.
One and one on Moreland. So 2-1. So he threw 9 pitches to the first 3 hitters, all strikes. The last strike, though, ended up in the second deck. Now it's a 2-1 count on Moreland. 2-2. Foul back here. Still 2-2. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow, the official hot tea of the Yankees. It's 80 degrees. It says it feels like 78, but it's kind of hot and sticky here in the Bronx. Humidity is 40%. The wind is 12 miles per hour.
And that's 0, Michael. That's pretty good. 0 chance. So you don't have to worry about the tarp tonight.
Always sign up for that. 3-2 on Moreland. And there's Jed Lowry on deck. Swing and a miss. Moreland down on strikes. Olson hits a home run. The A's have won. Yankees coming to bat. Well, Stanton's starting to be the Stanton that he had during that 12-game hitting streak. In his last 7 games, he has 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in. The OPS is 1.246. It's good to see Torres back in the lineup after he left yesterday's game with a lower back issue, but he's fine. Odor gets started second, and Higashioka catches tonight because they want to play Gary Sanchez both games Saturday and Sunday. If you played him tonight, you might not be able to play him day game after night.
You have to go back to game
See James Camperlin on the mound tonight. It'll be his 7th start on the year. Pretty good numbers so far for the young pitcher. 16 walks, maybe a little bit high, but 35 Ks is pretty good. Let's dig a little deeper, tell you a little bit more about him. Worth the wait. From the #1 draft of the Yankees in 2015 to 2017 Tommy John surgery, and then the big trade and the Sonny Gray deal, and finally broke in last year, a little mop-up duty at the end of the year, and now this year has really kind of been worth the wait. Traditional style, fastball slider to righties, fastball changeup to lefties. And how about the Yankee Stadium adrenaline this kid's going to have tonight?
David and Paul coming up next.
He said
right here
walking out on this field is like walking onto the gates of heaven. Drafted by the Yankees, and this start's something he's been looking forward to. It means a lot to him. So let's see how he performs out of the Yankee system, traded to the A's in the Sonny Gray deal. Pitch outside from
he's got
Caprillion.
past the sixth inning.
1-0. Still could be a row. Brings his A's into town. 2-0. David, is there a chance that when you're this geeked, and he admitted how geeked he is, that it's going to be hard to command your pitches?
That's what you look for early on. It's so easy to rush your delivery.
At first,
everything with the pitching motion, you have to be synchronized, the lower half and the upper half. It's easy to rush.
More 2-1. Out. 0-2. He said it's kind of like walking into the gates of heaven. Honestly, it's pretty nice. 0-2.
What a great quote, huh? Coney, I look back at that
Grounded
and you know how cool it is walking out on the field at Yankee Stadium, knowing that you get to suit up and play. I kind of agree with it.
Take a look at the defense presented by Geico. Really, the star is Laureano. He can get it with anybody in center. He has a really, really good arm as well. This is an overall pretty good defense. Just 34 errors, which is third in the American League. They're not going to give away too many runs. Murphy's behind the plate. Caprillion is on the mound.
Caprillion, I got it now.
I just wrote it down phonetically over here, Coney.
I got it.
Just to make sure.
For Torres. All right, so Paul has it. David. Short. Ryan, you have it? Short. You're good? Okay.
I'm sorry, James. I'm really sorry, James.
It was worth seeing David's reaction to you saying it correctly, Michael.
I know how to say it. It's just come out that way.
Labor Torres. By the way, Paul, David and I feel like Peaches and Herb tonight. We're reunited, and it feels so good in the booth for the first time together.
I'm just looking at you two, and I'm like, there's no glass, there's no nothing. You guys are just buddying up in the booth.
Unbelievable.
Pretty nice.
Just to get ready, like pregame, we were sitting on each other's lap, just to see what it's like.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's one. Some things you can't unsee, Michael. I'm glad I wasn't on the monitor at that point.
It's just between us. Don't worry about it.
It's he runs. He's a great.
The 1-2. Still 1-2. So let's really show David how close we are. Huh? Good to see you.
I was going to rent a tux.
I felt like that. Yeah.
The only person I can put my arm around is like this mannequin back here. It looks like me on the tarp here in Studio 21. Here we go. Here, my buddy.
One, two. Strike three. Judge down looking. Cannot make the play. It's over.
I tell you what, we don't even need to look at that. This ball's down and away off the plate. Bat taken out of your hand. Frustrating as a hitter, especially your first at bat.
Cannot make the play.
If you're a pitcher, this is brilliant. You can tell by just the first thing I notice is the arm angle, and he kind of cups the baseball and kind of slings it. It'd be very hard for righties to pick up the ball, but that ball clearly outside.
Third in the. There's Gleyber Torres. In debt. Hayes into the. And there's a strike. Field 1-0.
A little throwback strike zone, Paulie. It's like Greg Maddux back in 1994 right here.
Count 0-2 on Torres.
Strikes for everybody tonight.
That one thing A's into the second deck. Line him up.
Michael Weiss in Philadelphia.
The 0-2. Waved at, swung on and missed. Strong inning for Caprillion as he retires the Yankees in order. We'll go to the second inning. It's 1-0 Athletics.
Slick.
Lowry left the A's and signed a
0-2 against that hitter.
a 2-year, $20 million deal with the Mets.
We've seen him throw.
And he played only 9 games in 2019. Didn't get in a game last year. Had a knee injury, a left knee injury, kind of mysterious. Nobody ever really gave you the full story, but he signed with the A's and he's back on the field.
Yeah, if you look at his resume, it's very. This is a third go round with the Oakland A's. I mean, he's been with the Red Sox, the Astros, back to the A's, the Astros back to the A's, the Mets back to the A's. I mean, you don't see guys coming back to the same organization.
Let's look at the game time weather presented by
three
Big.
times in a career.
Fly ball and Duhar back, and he'll make the play. One away. Here, still 2-2. Foul back here. Mickey.
You know, as you watch Miggy kind of just day in and day out get more time, you're seeing him much more comfortable at the plate, but you're also seeing him much more comfortable in the outfield. And you know, is he ever going to make an error? Sure, he's going to make some plays out there, but he looks much more comfortable every day out there, play by play, in left field.
One and 0.
It's a good question, Paulie. We saw him last night kind of misplay a ball that kind of sliced off the bat of a left-handed batter. And how do you prepare for that as an outfielder? You know, it's hard to get that off a fungo before a game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, you take
last 7
balls
games
on the mound tonight
off the BP, but you know, it's
a little
very
bit
hard
high.
to duplicate. You know how hard and how fast the ball comes in a game. And there's so much side spin on the corner outfield positions. And you know, Aaron Judge has been in right field, so you know off a righty it's going away from him. Yeah, lefty could hook once in a while. Same with left field. It's just numerous times over and over again picking up the spin of the baseball off the bat.
The 2-1. 2-2 on Chapman. Honestly, it's 2-1. Marlon Chapman is really an outstanding defensive third baseman. Has always been a pretty good hitter, but he got off to a terrible start this year. Last 6 games, though, he's starting to pick it up. 10 for his last 23.
Agree with it. Cool. Yeah, Chapman as good as he gets defensively. Michael, like you said, he's won the Gold Glove.
Take a look at the defense presented.
He has had some injuries, but you know, he had hip surgery over the offseason, and as is every player, you know, sometimes to get back to where you were, it takes it a little bit longer than you think. Well, it is Yankee Stadium. Knowing he
3-2 on Chapman. And the pitch.
well, it is Yankee Stadium.
Rounded to
Knowing
third.
you get to suit up and play.
Urshela off balance
pretty
throw,
nice.
and the scoop by LeMahieu completes the play. Honestly, it's pretty nice.
We're looking at this play. I don't know who made a better play. Was it Urshela or was it LeMahieu at first base? Obviously, very hard to make this throw going 3 or 4 steps in foul territory, but a great scoop by LeMahieu. In betweener there. That is a great play.
It was worth seeing.
Well, here's Sean Murphy.
There's no glitch on the monitor at
0-1.
that point. Nice.
Boy, the A's have been streaky this year. They started the season 1-7. Then they won 13 in a row. Then they were 17-18 over a stretch of 35, and now in their last 14 games, 12-2.
21. There we go.
Soft ground ball. Torres across the diamond, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Taillon and the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the second.
Cue movement.
Nice job by the Yankees for sure. As we go to the bottom of the second inning, it's 1-0 A's. Duhar back. Here's Giancarlo Stanton. 0-1.
Miggy kind of.
Now, Paul, you see that little tiny kid behind the plate in a little Yankee uniform? He's got a uniform and it says number 21, Warrior, on the back.
Got a much more comfortable feel. I sent him that. I saw him early in the game and I had it sent down to him just to see if I get a little airtime, you know. Same with tell you what, those kind of things really they still amaze you. I mean, Coney, I know as well as you do. You go to a game, you see somebody your number on, it's quite an honor that people still remember you.
But I mean, the amazing thing about this, I mean, look at the kid's age. His parents weren't alive when you played.
The thing is, though, he doesn't know which way the game is. He's looking back at the suites.
He's looking for you.
No, he's looking for food. He's hungry.
Exactly.
Off balance throw, and Urshela takes a strike. At the third. Rounded the third.
Get the suit up. It is suit up and
Urshela off balance throw. Caprillion certainly dealing. He has 3 strikeouts with 1 here in the second.
Play.
Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts in a row.
But a great scoop
for the A's right-hander.
You can see the first go-round with them, especially the righties, his release point and how he kind of hides the baseball. It seems like everybody's behind. Gio had a big night last night. It was good to see him get it back on track, but it's kind of a weird short arm, kind of crossfire delivery.
You know, leading into this game, Caprillion was not trying to be too cool for school. He said, I'm excited. Torres, I'm not going to lie. Across the diamond. He's even more excited. He's worked 2 straight 1-2-3 innings as the Yankees go down in order. We're going to the third in the Bronx. It's 1-0 Oakland. Tony Kemp leads off. And a strike from Taillon. Line foul.
Suit up.
Six big league season for Kemp. He's 29 years old.
Go round.
Played with the Astros, Cubs.
His
last 2 years with Oakland. This guy the other way. Across the dot. He's worked 2 straight 1-2-3. Good play. He's even more excited. He's worked 2 straight 1-2-3 innings as he won. Popped up. Odor puts it away. Well, push your New York Yankees to the top this summer with the 2021 Google MLB All-Star Ballot. Vote daily at MLB.com/vote and on Google by searching for your favorite players to send them to Colorado. Did they deke me out? Was that Judge who made that catch?
Yes, he did. Yeah, Odor, yeah, he definitely did. Held up the glove. I got it. No, I got you.
All right. Thanks, Rugned. All fun and games till somebody loses a job.
That's right. Especially on the first night we let fans back in, Michael.
At least you can pronounce names.
That's right.
Lined into left center field. It is going to be a base hit for Andrus. Cutting it off in the gap is Gardner. Andrus is going for 2, and he'll make it.
Andrus not having a good year offensively at all, but these are the pitches. It looks, Coney, like he is trying to cut the baseball a little bit. And when you don't throw a good cutter, it's nothing but an off-speed fastball, and it just sits right there. Andrus just hammers it into left center field.
Yeah, more slider-like, right? Yeah, you're right. I think that was the home run pitch as well. Andrus has been struggling, although recently a little better. The last 7 to 15 games starting to come on.
So here's Mark Canha. Having a really good leadoff season, as we mentioned, high on base percentage, 12th in the American League.
Ken is a good, solid player. He was filling in while Laureano was hurt in center field. Now he's back to left and right, but he's just a guy that this day and age is great to have on a team. Pretty much does everything. Sanchez tries a snap throw down to second. Good defensive player. Or Higashioka, my fault. See how far I'm off, Coney, on pronouncing names? How about Sanchez to Higashioka?
Good comeback, though.
Huh?
Well, let's do the scorecard. Coney butchered the pitcher's name. I got the wrong guy making the catch. You had the wrong catcher. Ruocco's the only one who's clean.
It's still early,
Mike. A lot of game left.
Still early.
Just a little geeked up, you know. The stadium's opened up tonight.
Yep.
Second opening day here. Always like those Kelly green tops that the A's feature. A little different shade of green.
I'll tell you what, when I look back, and you know, the Cincinnati Reds played the Oakland A's in the mid-70s in a couple World Series, and it just like caught my eye as a young kid watching the game. I hate to say it, this is going to make you feel real old, guys, but it was like the first time I saw a team in color on color television. And all of a sudden, I'm like, man, the Oakland A's have the coolest uniforms. And still to this day, they mix dark green, light green, all kind of different colors, uniforms. They've got to lead the major leagues in ways that they can take the field.
Goes back to Charlie Finley.
Lined up the middle, it's a base hit. Andrus rounds third. They're sending him home. The throw from Gardner is not in time. It's an RBI single for Canha, and it's 2-0 A's.
Good. Canha, again, he is just a solid player. Line drive up the middle, and this is totally on a scouting report. You're going to run anytime you have an opportunity on Brett Gardner. If it's a 50-50 shot, because of his arm strength, you're going to continue to go. Gardner actually made a pretty good throw, but Andrus in easily. Actually had to stop and make sure that got through, and still scored.
Boy, Mark Kotze, the third base coach, almost threw his arm out. Laureano with a high fly ball center field. Backing up is Gardner. And on the track, he'll make the play. Canha will head back to first and makes it.
Well, here's your dangerous hitter. Obviously, he hit a home run already in the first inning on an 0-2 pitch. But, I mean, look at these numbers at the top of everything. Vlad and Ohtani ahead of him in home runs, but he has never made an all-star team. You can see this year will be his first. He's a Gold Glove winner in the past, but just one of those guys that probably doesn't get enough attention of how good a hitter he is.
Take a look at the exit velocity on his first inning home run, brought to you by Spectrum Mobile. Go to spectrummobile.com today. 106.2 and 393 feet into the second deck.
Also very good defender at first base on the defensive side, so a two-way player all the way.
Well, he had a rough season in the abbreviated 2020 campaign, hit 195. And he said last year my bat was flat, really horizontal. He said he wanted to get that I can hit the ball 500 feet feeling.
Wow, that's quite a feeling, Coney. If you go up there thinking I can hit this from 500.
Season for
Notice
Kent.
him with his hands way far away from his body, and you know you don't really teach that because you kind of drag the bat a little bit because it's so far. But when you're 6'5", like Olson, it gives you a little room, and it allows him to get the bat head out. I mean, that's a big thing when you're tall and lanky to be able to, you know, create a little space where you can get the bat head out.
Odor 2-2. Odor puts it away. Elliott, MLB.com. Yankees said that Colorado. Did they geek me out? Was that Judd?
I got it.
2-0 A's. Top of the third.
No, I got you.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. 1 run, 2 hits, and Swanson, Bregman, Walker Buehler, pretty good players in that first round in 2015.
I was talking about all the options of the Oakland Athletics uniform-wise, and I don't know if you noticed, Mike. I'm going to give you a little Cincinnati Reds chance here, Michael. What do you see different on Caprillion than I saw Olson? I saw Moreland. I saw most of the play. What do you see different on his uniform? And all of a sudden, it's still to this all kind of different things.
And Duhar with a ground ball to short. Rounds third. They're set. 1 away. What do I see? Basie wearing. Andrus rounds third. A yellow belt. Middle, it's a base hit.
There you go, Michael. I can't get anything by you. Like I said, they got all kind of options. Look at Olson. I just saw him strike out. He had the green belt on. Every once in a while,
Andrus rounds third. They're sending him home. The throw from Gardner is
made a pretty good throw. That Andrus in.
Now we should note tonight that after a long battle with health concerns, it is so great to see Phil Nevin back in the third base coaching box for the Yankees.
Continue to go. Gardner actually made a pretty good throw. He's been in the dugout
for a while since coming back. He was recovering from COVID.
Third, continue to go.
Other
Gardner
health issues.
Made a pretty
and
good
this is his
throw.
first game back as a third base coach since May 9th. Team loves him. He's one of the real good guys in the game, and good to see him healthy and back out there, which he loves to do.
Here, here.
He is just.
Yeah, it was so
through.
Such a great human interest story to see how he reacted
he'll make
to missing his son's major league debut.
Backing up. That one's still deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. It is a foul ball. Lorian, and on the. Seven straight outs for Caprillion, and he has just 23 pitches thrown. He is dealing right now. Did he go? No, he did not.
It's a good little slider that he's featured right there, and he's had good success with it all year so far in those 6 starts. Opposing batters batting just .080 off of that pitch in a small sample size.
2-2. Missed inside, 3-2. Feet feeling.
Hit this one. To
2
where you can get the bat hit.
Colorado, did they beat me out? And the payoff. That'll be out of play. Well, it's almost surreal looking out into the right center field bleachers, and it's jammed. And for a while there, we didn't know when, if this was going to return. But what a great sight.
Chance here, Michael. What do you see different on Caprillion than I saw?
Of course, the bleacher creatures have to come back first and the strongest, and they have jammed that section.
They came ready to play tonight. That roll call was loud.
And Duhar with a ground ball to short. Rounds third. They're set. And Duhar, 3-2. And Duhar up. Murphy gives it a look. It's out of play. Duhar with a ground. And ground ball to short. And ground ball. First really extended at bat against Caprillion. And Duhar ground ball. And Duhar with a ground ball to short. Rounds third. They're set. And the 3-2. Another high pop-up. Elvis Andrus.
You go, Michael. I can't
puts it away
option
for the second out. Well, tomorrow night NYCFC is back in action on Yes as the boys in blue take on the first place New England Revolution. Coverage starts at 7 on Yes and streaming live on the Yes app. What's to do?
Here, watch a batting practice. See the flags on the top above the freeze. The ball's carrying tonight.
On the track.
A little warm, little
foul
humid.
ball.
Wind's kind of gently blowing out.
Just what you were looking for when you were pitching, right, Cody?
Yeah, you get the ball down or really high.
It's funny. I love that weather. Coney wanted it 40 with the wind blowing straight in.
It's gone. It is.
It's picking up a little bit.
It's gone. Hey. 2-0 on Gardner. Did he go? No, he did not. So Caprillion is from Tustin, California, but he said that growing up he was a Yankee fan, and it meant a lot to him to be drafted by the Yankees. Obviously, the stadium meant a lot, and he wanted to make it with the Yankees and was kind of hurt when he got traded. And he walks Gardner on 4 pitches. First base runner for the Yankees. And now he says his motivation is to show the A's that they won the trade.
Nothing wrong with that. Whatever motivation you need. Good, healthy thing to have as an athlete in any sport.
And there is the trade. Fowler and Mateo. And the Yankees also got the international signing bonus pool money. And for Sonny Gray, it just didn't work out here in the Bronx. Actually, has pitched well with the Reds.
I think he's down now. He's got a little arm issue, but he's thrown the ball extremely well for the Reds to this point since he's been there.
Starts.
0-1 on LeMahieu. Gardner leads off first, held there by Olson.
There's batting.
We did not. Fires is actually called up on May 12th to replace Mike Fires in the rotation when Fires got injured. And he's been pitching well, and the manager, Bob Melvin, said he keeps pitching like this.
But what do you see?
We'll find a spot for him.
That's the right attitude. You can control your own destiny.
Driven to right field and deep. Going back Canna on the track at the wall. See ya! A two-run home run for DJ LeMahieu. And we are tied up at 2. Hold up. And Duhart.
The ball out over the plate. DJ LeMahieu, and Coney, to your point, you can see the ball's just rocketing out to right field. This ball, this wasn't just right over a wall scraper. This ball shot 10 rows up. But great piece of hitting by LeMahieu. All of a sudden, guys dealing.
And the three.
Boom, two-run homer, 2-2. You go, Michael. I can't
puts it on.
The fastball just sat right there. Got the barrel on it. I tell you what.
You
no
go, Michael.
I can't
put starts.
Watch your batting practice.
Here's Aaron Judge. New ball game, 2-2. Hey. And there's a strike.
Came in about a 91.1 miles an hour. Went out about 102.9. 377.
Stayed growing up on 4.
Most people think of Yankee Stadium as a bit of a bandbox, Paul. But you know what? It plays, obviously the short porch and right. That's not a cheap home run. That's 377 feet. But it plays pretty close to average, in ballpark factors, according to Baseball Reference.
Down now.
A lot of room at the left center out there. So all said and done, at the end of the day, this park plays pretty close to an average Major League Baseball park. And I know that would surprise a lot of people. Fenway Park, on the other hand, that's a different story. There's batting.
Judge down on strikes, but the Yankees tie the score. A 2-out walk by Gardner, and then DJ LeMahieu picks up his 5th homer of the year. A's have 3 hits. Yankees have 1. The 2-run home run by DJ LeMahieu. Now LeMahieu has been hitting better of late, and when he spoke yesterday in Buffalo, he did not credit his recent surge to the pitchers getting ready for the MLB enforcement of sticky substances, but he didn't deny it either. Didn't deny there was a correlation. DJ came out and said, I've seen some pitches this year I've never seen in my whole career. For some reason this year it seemed to really jump the stuff guys are throwing out there at us. So I think a lot of hitters are happy about this.
You look at the rule that is so one-sided. I mean, it's a rule because it's a foreign substance, obviously, but I mean, it's only going to help the hitters. It's not going to help pitchers, Coney. I mean, you can attest to this. Rosin is great when you're sweating and it's hot, but cool, dry nights, the grip of the baseball is not the same.
That one is ripped to right field. It is a base hit, and it goes up against the wall. Playing out there is Judge. He fires to second, and that holds Moreland with a single. What a play by Judge.
We said an inning ago that you're going to take your chances against Brett Gardner, but not against Aaron Judge. And again, this is just a scouting report. Ball's hit so hard, he gets a good carom. And you know, if you're Mitch Moreland, that Aaron Judge is accurate and he is good in right field.
Yeah, Moreland wanted no part of that. You can see, even rounding the bag, he's like,
Fly ball left center. Gardner will make the play. Now we're talking about the sticky stuff. Ryan Rucco with us today, and Ryan, Britton actually spoke about it today, and he thinks there is a solution somewhere in there.
Yeah, Zach, we know, is not only an incredibly intelligent and interesting person to listen to, but he also has influence, right? He's one of the team reps when it comes to the Players Association. And he talked about something that our colleague Buck Showalter has brought up a few times. And David, you've talked about the baseballs in Japan and the tackiness of those baseballs, and wondering if that might be a solution. Said it's something they've talked about over the last few years.
High fly ball. Gardner puts it away.
He said,
and tagging up, the throw to second is not in time, as Moreland saw how deep it was and took off and made it to second base.
David, you've talked about that baseball maybe being an answer, and something that Zach directed the attention to was the ball itself. He said, look, we're in the entertainment business. We know there needs to be more offense in this game, but his focus went to the baseball itself rather than the substances. And what Zach said was, maybe if you had that baseball, then nobody would feel compelled to use substances because they'd be able to get the grip they would need, and wondered if there might be more conversation between Players Association and league along those lines. It's
an interesting topic because the balls in Japan are treated, the leather is treated with sort of a tacky substance that really helps. You know, here we are in 2021 and we're still using Delaware mud to rub up Major League Baseballs. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Well, Cody, you can explain this. I mean, when you take out a brand new baseball, you've got to do something with it because the ball sails, it moves in all kind of directions, and all of a sudden, you know, you rub it up and put it in your glove, you lose that. But a brand new baseball is not the answer either because they sail all over the place.
Yeah, they are slick and glossy, and even after you rub them up with mud, they get chalky, sitting in a ball bag for 7 innings. So, you know, the relievers are the ones that probably need the sticky stuff more than anybody. You know, we were wrong. In other words, all these years we thought pitchers who use pine tar, oh, it's just to help with control. Doesn't really enhance. Doesn't make your pitches any better. It just helps you grip the ball. We were wrong. In the last 5 years, we found that out because of high-speed cameras, and now we can measure spin rate.
You know, interesting take by Garrett Cole the other day after his start. He said, you know, call us. He told Major League Baseball, call us, we can talk this through, and it should be a collaborative thing, and it should be something that both sides can come to an agreement on. If they're not going to change the baseball, there has to be an agreed upon substance that they could use for the grip, but not to weaponize it.
You know, a collaborative effort is something that the Players Association has always wanted. And there's been a lot of distrust over the years between Major League Baseball and the Players Association, and there is a collective bargaining agreement coming up. So be a good idea to start talking now.
Two and one on Murphy. Moreland at second. Almost got him. It did get him right on the side. So he'll take first. Well, that's the way to get hit, huh?
Like Tyone is actually trying to move his fastball to cut a little bit, and this one actually had a little running action back in. So Coney, it looks like he is trying to make his fastball something other than just that true four-seamer that he's done pretty much all year.
That's a good read. Yeah, that's what we've seen. He used to throw a lot of two-seamers in Pittsburgh. Changed completely to all four-seamers up in the zone, and you're right, he's kind of mixing in a few more tonight. A couple more change-ups here and there, so he's trying to make adjustments and give different looks.
Pitch to Kemp. 1-0. Curveball in there for a strike, 1-1. Kemp in the third inning with a fly ball to right.
Again, you almost get nervous in these situations, even calling the game, because you know that these are the times that, you know, kind of make or break the game. The 2 outs, men on. You get out of these innings, you give your offense a chance. You give up that big 2-out hit. It's so deflating.
1-2. Two and two.
Wow, real crowd noise, Michael.
I like it.
Not even piped in, huh?
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on, 2-2. Deuce is wild. They'll do it again. Moreland off second, Murphy off first. 2-2 count on Kemp at the plate. Broken bat, looper toward first. And it's caught on the fly by LeMahieu, and that'll do it. No runs a hit, and it'll be Torres, Stanton, and Urshela. 0-2. Glaber struck out in the first inning. Down 1-2 in the count here. Leading off the bottom of the fourth. Strike 3. And that's going to bring up Giancarlo Stanton.
Well, we've seen a bit of a wide strike zone at times today, Paul, early in this game, but that one's right there.
It just looks like, to me, especially Torres, just not picking up the baseball from Caprillion and his kind of just awkward kind of crossfire delivery. You just pick it up late. Before you know it, it's strike 3.
Stanton takes a strike. He struck out in the second inning. Ground ball to second base. Lowry makes the play, 2 away.
You know, Coney, I was looking between innings, and they showed Higgy, you know, talking to Tyone and Blake, and I always wondered, I mean, do you get more from talking to your catcher as you're pitching, or is it the pitching coach? I mean, the catcher is seeing what's coming out of your hand. Pitching coach knows you probably better than anybody. So what's the answer?
You know, it depends on the personality of the pitcher. You know, Garrett Cole's a talker. He wants to talk as he goes along. I didn't really like it that much, unless it was Mel who had something specific to say.
Yeah.
I was kind of a leave me alone kind of guy. You know, I'll let you know.
If I need your help.
I'll let you know.
Oh, 2. That's what Paul's talking about, the conversation between innings. Matt Blake listening in. Swing and a miss. Impressive inning for Caprillion as he retires the Yankees in order against 2 more. 15 homers, 29 ribbies. How about the year Kevin Gausman's having? He can be a free agent at the end of the year. And Ohtani, 19 home runs. And he's also been pitching very well. And today announced that he's going to be part of the home run derby this year. Now, Aaron Judge was asked about it. He said, I will never be in a home run derby unless the All-Star game returns to New York.
Whoa, okay.
But it looks like Ohtani likes being on center stage. He likes to be in the spotlight.
It's hard to sort of gauge how important he is to the game right now and what he's doing. Like there's not a lot of basis for comparison for a guy who throws the ball 100 miles an hour and pitches every 5 days and hits homers like that.
Wandy Peralta getting ready for the Yanks.
Like the only comp is Babe Ruth, and I didn't see him play, Paul.
No. And you know what's funny, Coney, is you speak on that. I mean, right when he came over, I thought it was cool, but I thought, this can't last. Well, it's not only lasted, he had some injuries. He's gotten better at both parts of the game, as a home run hitter, and a pitcher. So, I'm a believer now. Earlier in the broadcast you said we were wrong. Well, I was wrong about that because I thought at some point he was going to have to figure out one or the other.
So 1 away as Andrus swings through a high pitch. And you can know that Tyone's on a batter-by-batter basis now with Peralta up. Why? Because Kana now comes up as for the 3rd time, and they keep an eye if a pitcher faces the lineup for the 3rd time.
Well, I think you were all over this, Paul. We've seen good adjustments from Jameson tonight. A little cut fastballs, a couple more sinkers. Thrown a handful of changeups as well to just kind of mix up the look.
Coney, and you can talk about pitching. I mean, you have a fastball. Everybody has a fastball. But if you can have a 4-seamer, a little cutter, and a sinker, that's still a fastball. But it gives you 3 different variations of it where you don't have to go to the curveball or the slider, those secondary pitches you're not really comfortable throwing.
Yeah, he's thrown 12 of those 2-seam sinkers tonight, which is a season high for him by a long shot. 24 4-seamers and 12 2-seamers. It's a good mix.
Well, StatCast by Google Cloud shows you his arsenal, how he uses them. Obviously, his most used pitch is the 4-seamer.
See that sinker at 1.6% tonight. That's up to 17%.
And a walk to Canna. 1 on, 1 out. Time for the answer to the trivia question. 4 players have been selected to All-Star games as a member of both the A's and the Yankees. Who are they? So this does not include the Kansas City A's. It's Oakland. So we think it's Reggie, Jason Giambi, Ricky, and I think Catfish. Yeah!
What a night.
I'm still mad about the Kansas City A's, Michael. I told you that last night.
Still chapped.
Still chapped.
You got a goat out of it, though.
Angora goat.
So Angora goat and $100.
And $100.
Now, if we had included the Philadelphia A's and the Kansas City A's, then you would add Buddy Rozar, Bobby Shantz, and Roger Maris.
That's how the Yankees got Roger Maris.
Yep.
Kansas City was a feeder to the Yankees back then. Way back.
The unofficial farm team. 1-1 on Laureano. Swing and a miss upstairs. A little life on that 1 and 2.
You talk about Laureano, and I mean, he missed 3 weeks of the season, and numbers still. I mean, 12 home runs, 8 stolen bases. So his production, it just, as Michael put earlier, I mean, he is a great defensive player, but offense goes along with it. Just a good, solid player to have back in the lineup if you're Bob Melvin.
Waved at that one, and Laureano down on strikes. They are not going to let Tyone face Olsen again. Olsen hit that long home run in the first, did strike out in the third, but they don't want Tyone to face him for a third time, so they bring in the left-hander, Peralta, and a much better outing for Tyone than the one he had last time. He'll depart. Has to feel pretty good about things. Didn't give him the length that he would want, but
pitch around a guy, but this is the lanes that modern managers talk about, with Moreland on deck after Olsen here, and then Jed Lowry, the switch hitter behind him. So that's why you got all these relievers down there to use them.
Coney, we were kind of talking between innings, and I was just trying to talk about confidence, and you kind of agreed with me. I mean, as a starting pitcher, you finish an inning, your outing's over, you feel good about things. Being pulled out in the middle of an inning, I think that there's an effect that there's really no confidence.
Yeah, that's the point, right? I mean, are we going to just play it by the book here and get the platoon advantage with the lefty Peralta in there, or are you trying to build for the future with Tyone and build up his confidence a little bit and let him finish an inning on a high note? It's an interesting debate.
you see 4.4 innings per start, and only Matt Harvey of the Baltimore Orioles gives his team fewer innings per start.
You know, the one good note, Coney, as you talked about it, is he was a different pitcher tonight. He's starting to move his fastball in both directions, so he's not just going out, he's trying to get better, and to me, that's a big step forward tonight.
I agree. He really showed some pitching IQ tonight and some adaptability to be able to make adjustments on the fly here. He's a different looking pitcher, different looking arsenal tonight. You know, Tyone threw 5 changeups. You know, a couple of them are really good. I'd like to see him mix that pitch in a little bit more to left-handed batters. That could be a real key for him. We've seen Garrett Cole use his changeup a lot this year to great success.
Fly ball center field. Gardner back, still back on the track. He makes the play and hits into the wall for the final out. Boy, the ball is traveling on this Friday night in the Bronx. That kept going and going, and Gardner kept going and going and made the final out. We're halfway through.
Yeah.
Everything in the world is transactional, so you're getting information from Stanton, but he wants information from you. He's a big NBA fan. You've done such an unbelievable job for ESPN calling the games.
Thank you.
What did you guys talk about?
We were breaking down Sixers-Hawks, talking about how upset Aaron Boone was the other night after his Sixers blew that Game 5 to Atlanta. And we were also Giancarlo Stanton he's a really interesting guy, and he was saying what he loves to see during the NBA playoffs is how all of a sudden these offenses that have scored, you know, incredibly high point totals throughout the season get dismantled by good defenses, and sort of the psychological breakdown as well, like we saw with Philadelphia.
Oh, this was serious stuff. I mean, they're locked in. You know, that's the case in a lot of sports, though. Great offenses do get shut down in big games. When you're just built on offense, that's not a great thing sometimes.
It was funny, too, Michael, because, you know, you guys both know very well that Aaron Boone's a huge Sixers fan. And he said the other night, coming in after a big comeback Yankee win, he's all jazzed up, and then he sees the very end of the game and what happens to the Sixers, and he's walking into his press conference fired up about the Yankee win, but now upset that his Sixers lost.
All right, Ryan, you know, we're going to put you on the spot. You split the games with the Iron Eagle, the net games. What's happening in Game 7 tomorrow?
I'm a little worried because of the Kyrie injury and Harden being limited, but I'm going to say home court advantage. You still have the best player on the floor in Durant. I think Harden will get a little more out of his acceleration, and the Nets win a very, very close game.
And we'll have the post-game coverage after that game on Yes. So once you watch the game, and if you want to have it explained to you, well, go with the team that's been with the team all year, the Yes Network. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook Nets post-game after Game 7. Watch it on Yes, the Yes app, the whole deal. Three-two. High fly ball, deep right center. There it goes. See ya. 3-2 Yankees.
Telling you what, Odor has watched Reggie Jackson's old videotapes, because when he goes deep, there is something about his bat flip, readjustment of the helmet, and kind of his jog that reminds me of Reggie Jackson, and this was a bomb.
You know what that reminded me of, Paul? If you remember the video of Reggie hitting the 3 home runs in the World Series, he looked at the camera and put up 3, and Odor just threw a kiss.
See that little hop, and then that looks like Reggie Jackson to me. All right, now we're going to let the black flip. All right, now we're going to readjust the helmet. Little hop, step, and off to the races.
You see what you missed out on, Paul, by being shy and putting your head down when you hit a home run?
I tell you what, I grew up in the right generation, because I would have looked. I couldn't figure out what to do now, because everybody's got their own little bat flip, their own little way of doing things. The way you look at it, it puts the Yankees ahead for the first time tonight, and that's exciting if you're Aaron Boone.
He's got some personality, doesn't he? Kind of lights up the bench.
One and two on and Duhar.
3-2, but for the most part, you've dominated the lineup throughout the night.
Yeah, he's really been all over the strike zone, too. A lot of first pitch strikes. Very aggressive. .43 strikes thrown from Caprillion out of those 61 pitches.
One and one.
like it. Just a comfortable silence from us three up here. Let's just let it breathe a little bit here, okay? Let's let the camera do the work.
Trying to hear the crowd noise, Coney. We want to hear him whisper. We haven't seen him in so long.
High fly ball, left field. So you're okay with people that criticize too much silence? You're okay with that?
Yes.
You fly right in the face of that criticism.
It's television. It's not radio.
The picture tells a lot of words, right, Cody?
Yeah, we have some of the best people in the business on these cameras here, giving us great shots.
Paul, I think that's David's like subtle, gentle way to tell me to shut up.
I'm starting to wonder if when my mic goes out, if it's almost intentional. Maybe they're pulling the plug on me for a while. They've heard enough.
We're not paid by the word.
Well, you're not. There's a strike to Gardner. Brett had a big walk with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. It was the first base runner against Caprillion, and then that was followed up by LeMahieu's bullet home run into the seats and right. That tied the game at 2, and now Odor's home run in the 5th has given the Yankees the lead. Ground ball grabbed by Olsen, flips to Caprillion, and that will do it here in the 5th. But Rougned Odor. Chad Pinder is going to pinch hit for Mitch Moreland. Montefiore scoreboard. Yankees lead 3-2. We're in the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. Those are the numbers for Pinder. Moreland 1 for 2 against Tyone while he was in there. There's a strike. The A's 4 guys on the bench today, 3 righties and a lefty, Seth Brown. Swing and a miss. Peralta gets Pinder.
Well, the old hesitation pitch right here, and all of a sudden, strike 3. And Cody, you know, if you show it one time in an at-bat, you'll get away with it. It's a kind of a trick pitch. Turn it over.
Yeah, Peralta's got a good changeup, and then the little hesitation. I've been watching him for a long time, trying to figure out who he looks like to me, Michael. I think I got it.
Tell us.
Buddy Hackett.
Buddy Hackett.
Yes.
Oh, boy. Half of our audience is running to Google.
Michael, I'll be back next inning, all right?
That's Buddy Hackett.
Wow. Well,
you got to go back in time. I know Buddy Hackett, you know, I mean, kind of dating myself here, but he was an all-time great comedian.
kind of talked out of the side of his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cody, we've been all over this. I mean, earlier in the broadcast, I was with black and white TV, and now you're on Buddy Hackett. Huh?
I don't know where it came from, but it came.
Ground ball. 2 away. There's Buddy Hackett.
Is that Hackett or Peralta? I haven't figured it out yet.
It's almost identical, Paul.
Put the Yankee hat on him. It's got to be.
Although, let's give props to Buddy Hackett. That jacket is now in style that he's wearing.
Yeah, I want one of those.
Huh.
One and one.
Can't unsee it now, right? It's in your head. You can't get it out.
I can't wait for you to go down on the field tomorrow and meet him.
I love you. I love you, Wandy. You're great.
Line into left center field. It's a base hit. And Gardner gets it in. Now, I am curious about one thing as we see this high breaking ball. Ryan's the youngest one of us here. Ryan, now be honest. Did you know Buddy Hackett?
I'm not going to pull the move I pulled on the K show with you and Don, where I lied about if I had seen Rocky yet. I knew the name Buddy Hackett. I thought it was somewhere in the comic sphere, but no, I had no idea what he looked like.
Okay.
None.
Okay. Grounded through a vacated hole on the right side. A base hit for Murphy. And Judge gets it in. So first and third with 2 men out.
All of a sudden, Peralta just cruising through, and boom, back-to-back 2-out hits. Murphy does a good job of just hitting behind the runner, wide open right side. And then here is another one of those instances where you have 2 outs and a big at bat. Tony Kemp coming to the plate.
And a really extreme shift there that worked against the Yankees and against the right-handed hitters. You see Chad Green getting going now.
So Peralta against Kemp. Oh and 1. Caprillion ready to go back out on the mound. Grounded, foul, past the diving LeMahieu. It really is amazing. You could put LeMahieu at first, second, or third, and you're not losing anything defensively. What a valuable player to have. And then obviously with the bat. Higashioka going through the sign, see if they'll throw through if they decide to send Murphy.
And Coney, I know if you're pitching right here, you tell that catcher if it's up to you, hold on to this ball and allow me to try to get this out. Don't let any mistake happen.
1 and 2.
Yeah, and a one-run game too as well. Nice job by Higashioka blocking that pitch.
Chasing Murphy back. It was pretty close to a balk.
Break him down on his career. You know, it's a lefty-lefty matchup, but not really much different in his career against lefties. 233 against righties, 242. So pretty much the same hitter.
Two and 2. Nice block there by Higashioka. Chapman at third, Murphy at first. 2 men out. Top of the 6th, Yankees lead 3-2. 2-run home run and a solo home run. The Yankees scoring. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. High fly ball, deep right field. There it goes. See ya. A 3-run home run by Tony Kemp, and it's 5-3 A's.
Well, you talk about a backbreaker. The 8th place hitter, only 2 home runs on the year. Ball out over the plate. Right ballpark to be a left-handed hitter with not a lot of power, but a huge 3-run homer for the Oakland A's.
As Paul mentioned, 3rd home run, and now has 16 runs batted in.
Little slider, Paul. It's the 3rd one he's thrown and just kind of stayed right there. Did him a favor. Peralta's best pitch is his changeup. He threw a bunch of those in the dirt. That's what Higashioka was blocking, so he tried the slider and just left it right there.
Yeah, by throwing that hanging slider, that's the only pitch Kemp is going to have the ability to really pull, especially with a 2-strike count.
Fly ball right field. Judge is there, and that'll do it. But all the damage with 2 outs. A couple of singles, then a 3-run home run by Kemp. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 5-3. Just 2 hits for the Yankees against Caprillion. A 2-run home run by LeMahieu, and then the solo shot by Odor. That'll be the top of the order for the Yankees: LeMahieu, Judge, and Torres. That's the first home run by a lefty off Peralta this year as Kemp gave the A's the lead. There's a strike. LeMahieu heating up. Last 7 games, you see the numbers. Ground ball to Lowry. 1 away. Well, that'll bring up Judge, and let's move across the coast to Anaheim. And Aaron Judge comes up and hits a home run. This is in 2017. Now watch the guy behind the catcher in the T-shirt. That's James Caprillion.
Wow.
I don't think he'd throw his arm up in the air now if Judge hits a home run. But the allegiances change with trades. He was a Yankee prospect then. Two and 0.
Wasn't Aaron Judge originally drafted by the A's and he didn't sign, and then he went back to school?
Out of high school, yes, yeah. Then he went to college.
Yeah. What could have been, huh?
The 2-0. Slider for a strike, 2-1. Yusmeiro Petit is ready for the A's. David Caprillion certainly seems composed for a guy who was geeked up and looking forward to this start. He seems like he's got it all together.
He's got a swagger out there. Very confident. 14 for 18 before this at bat in first pitch strikes. Lucas Lidke getting warm.
You don't know how this at-bat's going to end up, but boy, I tell you what, Aaron Judge has had some pitches to hit. He's had 3 pitches up in the strike zone middle and fouled them all off.
Looped into right field. Going to dunk in for a base hit for Judge.
Well, once it got over Olsen, kind of has no chance. It's so tough as an outfielder with a big power hitter up and a big swing to get a really quick jump on a ball that gets in on Aaron Judge, and just a little looper. It counts in the box score.
A conference between Murphy and Caprillion. And here's Glaber, 0 for 2 against the A's right-hander with 2 strikeouts. 1 swinging and 1 looking. Bottom of the 6th inning, it's 5-3 A's.
His recent history in the Yankees have been able to come back in these type of games, as opposed to early in the year.
And the 2 former teammates. But Caprillion is locked in.
No eye contact there.
One and one. You know, some of the swings, Paul, that we've seen from Glaber, it seems like he's not picking the ball up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking from pitch 1 when I saw him against Caprillion. He just is not picking up the ball. It has something to do with the release point, way out in front of the slider, not picking up the spin, and kind of behind on the fastball.
Two and one. Well, he left yesterday's game with lower back stiffness after his spikes gave out on a ground ball to short. But no problem today. Back in the lineup. That one bounced past Murphy, and Judge heads to second.
A good read by Aaron Judge, kind of a lawn dart. Wow, right off Murphy's mask. Gets a good read, easily into second base.
Scored a wild pitch.
Spiked a changeup. Predominantly, he throws fastball slider to righty, so kind of a rare changeup to a right-handed batter, and threw it about 49 feet.
It usually doesn't end up well, Cody.
Can't get hurt down there, other than advance the base.
High fly ball, deep left center. Kemp back. He's there and makes the play in front of the track. Judge tags and goes to third. So Torres gave it a ride, but Kemp ran it down.
Yeah, this is a really good read by Aaron Judge. I mean, you just take for granted that, you know, everybody does this right, but if you get caught off too far, you don't have a chance to get back. He had a good read, easily tags up as Caprillion heads to the dugout.
Bob Melvin takes the ball from his young right-hander. He'll go to the bullpen. Yankees have a runner on third and 2 outs. Here's Yusmeiro Petit, 7-0 with a 3.16 ERA.
Well, what stands out, Coney, look at that, 34 games already. I mean, one of those rubber arms that you just keep chucking out there.
A 36-year-old veteran. It'll be the 472nd game he's appeared in the major leagues.
Stanton, high fly ball. Kemp puts it away for the final out of the 6th. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the 7th. A's up by 2. Lucas Litke on for the Yankees. Tyone started, then Wandy Peralta, now Litke. We're in the 7th inning, beginning of a 3-game set. And it's the top of the A's lineup. Mark Canha. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. Oh and 1.
Well, as you looked in that dugout, you see Bob Melvin, and I mean, he's got to be considered one of the better managers in the game now. I mean, he's won Manager of the Year twice. I mean, he has done a phenomenal job out there with a team that, you know, just does not pay huge salaries. They actually got rid of a couple players, a lot of home runs over the offseason. Marcus Semien, Chris Davis, but Melvin somehow, some way figures out a way to win.
He just recently passed Tony La Russa for the all-time most wins in Oakland A's franchise history.
He's not passing Connie Mack.
I did. I was going to ask you about that. When he had to win 900,000 games or something.
Well, Cornelius McGillicuddy actually managed 50 years, and he owned the team, so no one was going to fire him.
Oh, you're going to the Philadelphia years, right?
Yeah. All right, now, Paul, I'd like to play this game with you. Were you ever teammates with Bob Melvin?
I know I played against him.
Right.
And wink at me. I can see you in the monitor, Mike. Give me a hint.
Base hit in the center field.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
you
saying
did.
1994, right when I got there. One of my better years. I think Bob Melvin was part of it.
First of all, you got there before '94, but he played with you 9 games in '94. Yes.
All right, so I was right, but you had to call me out anyway. I was just getting warmed up in '93, you know.
Oh, and you know what? He was, I guess, he was a good luck charm. You won the batting title in '94.
Not so bad. Thanks, Bob.
And he hit the last of his 35 career home runs in pinstripes on May 21st against Arthur Rhodes of the Orioles. You're a nemesis.
Yeah, Arthur Rhodes was no fun from the left side. I actually remember hitting a long home run off him, but other than that, there was a lot of strikeouts in between.
Who'd you dislike more, Rhodes or Orozco?
Orozco. You know what? It just, I don't know what it was. He was in my mind. He was in my head. I'd wake up nightmare. It's just like, oh, here comes Jesse Orozco again. And, you know, he actually laughed at me. I'd be running sprints in Baltimore at the end of our career, and he'd walk by me and say, hey, I'll see you in the 8th. It just got to be, it got to be automatic.
Well, that got Laureano, so first and second, nobody out. Now Olson's coming up. Well, we actually dug up the Melvin home run.
A player's man. Goes back. That ball might go. And it's 5 to that man in the DH role.
Wow.
Melvin hits it out against a team who no longer wanted that.
A little
You
grainy,
cut the
but
video. I was gonna high five him right there in the dugout and give him a hug. That's how I knew. I remember that home run, Michael, just like it was yesterday.
who was the player? Who was the player last weekend that you didn't know that you played with? Pete Incaviglia.
Pete Incaviglia. I remember him hitting bombs in Texas, but I mean, I played with him for like 4 hours. It's not like he was there for a month or anything.
0-1 on Olson.
Cone, you got guys like that. You come back and they say, I played with you, and you're like, yeah, I remember.
Yeah, those are the guys.
I mean, you play with a lot of teams, too.
Yes. You walk by him in the clubhouse. Hey, kid, how you doing?
One and one on Olson. Canna is at second. Laureano's at first. The 2-1. 2-2 on Olson.
The big spot here in this game. A 2-run lead already the A's have. And we've seen the Yankees be able to come back later in games recently, especially as you see Luis Cessa now getting loose in a hurry.
And although they've been winning lately, the A's bullpen has not been that effective. In fact, since the middle of May, they've blown 6 of 13 save opportunities. So 3-2 on Olson. First and second, nobody out here in the 7th. Popped up. Infield fly rule called, and the catch is made in foul territory. One away. Big out for Litke.
Everything Litke throws moves. Even his fastball has cut on it. He just got that ball away enough from Olson as he pulled off of it. He got a big out.
You know, it's funny you say that, Coney, because as a hitter, you know, when everything moves, there's nothing to gauge, you know, how much it's going to move. So, you know, every pitch, this one might break an inch, this one might make 6 inches. So you really can't gauge, and very hard. And that's why I think he has had so much success, you know, since coming over here is, you know, you really can't tell exactly what every pitch is going to do.
You pay attention to the velocity right there, 88 miles an hour, but it's got movement on it. It's cutting.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually really good control, too, with it. He's only got 4 walks on the year, which is the most impressive part to me. We heard a lot about his curveball in spring training, and yeah, it's a good one, but he knows what he's doing out there.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Pinder. That one gets away from Higashioka, and both runners move up. That's big. You just lost the double play there.
Yeah, Michael, I mean, I agree. And this ball, you'll see Higgy most of the time keep in front of him. This ball ricocheted off the heel of his glove. And I'll tell you what, advancing both these runners, that is a huge play for the A's. And, you know, I know as a hitter, Coney, you reboot yourself now. It's a different at bat. And I'm sure as a pitcher, the same thing. Now you got to pitch around him. If you get behind him, you got to try to keep him in the infield. A lot of things change on one pitch.
And that's a big pitch as Pinder strikes out with the Yankees infield in. So 2 outs, infielders back up, and that'll bring up Lowry.
Again, that little cutter up in the strike zone, and it moved a little, but I think he had been inside. All of a sudden went up and away. It's just a different look.
Well, Matt Blake will come out and talk with Litke. First base is open, so Lowry's up, and then Chapman is on deck.
It's not a bad time to do this. So you have a good idea of what your game plan is going to be. And there's no confusion with the signal calling. Especially in today's game where there's a lot of paranoia about runners on base, keyhole in the signs. Seems like everybody's worried about relaying signs. Never before has there been so many different sequences of signal calling and switching them up. Pitchers have cards in their hats. Catchers have wristbands.
Pitch is high to Lowry. Jed 0 for 3 tonight. Fly ball to left center, and then a ground ball to short.
Well, Lowry is a switch hitter, and he does hit better. A little bit better against left-handed hitters, so I'm sure Blake relayed that message also to Litke. You know, you got to be a little more careful. Career about 280, 240 against righties.
Second and third, 2 outs. We're in the top of the 7th inning, and the A's lead the Yankees 5-3. Canna is at third. Laureano is at second. 1-1 count on Lowry. Dancing down the line is Canna, and that forces Litke to step off. And he was about 45 feet from third base, so halfway to home plate.
Yeah, this is almost a trick play where you stomp your feet, run down, and you try to force a balk on a pitcher. Obviously, it didn't work.
Especially a left-handed pitcher with his back to the runner.
1-2. Well, yesterday was the anniversary of the start of the 2-strike cheer when Guidry struck out 18 Angels. That's when it started, and it's still going on all these years later. And Litke is certainly paying attention to what's happening at third and stepped off.
He's trying to not only distract Litke, maybe draw a balk. Which I know a lot about. I did balk in these situations once or twice.
1-2. Strike 3. Lowry down looking as Litke works out of trouble. So at the end of 6.5 innings of play, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. And the Yankees are trailing this one by going into the 7th inning. Our friends at Stats tell us they have just one 4-game streak of that sort in franchise history as Urshela leads off with a single. And you have to go all the way back to 1910 to find the last time they did that. So if they win tonight, we're going back to 1910.
1910.
5-8-0 for the A's, 3-4-0 for the Yankees. Caprillion came back against his former organization, pitched strong, 5 2/3 innings. Jameson Tyone had a good outing, Tony Kemp, a go-ahead 3-run home run in the 6th inning off Wandy Peralta. And for the Yankees, their offense comes via the home run. LeMahieu, a 2-run shot. Odor, a solo shot. And here is Odor. And a strike. He knew it. Into the Yankee bullpen. Three infielders on the right side for Odor. Popped up. Chapman in foul territory. 1 out.
Yeah, we talked about the number of games, and it's a big out for Petit right there. But I mean, there is a reason why you see him time and time again. I mean, his four-seam fastball is averages 87. I mean, you just don't see that this day and age. Throws a cutter and a change, but not overpowering at all. And you talk about a veteran, Coney. I tell you, you're throwing 87 this day and age. You better know how to pitch, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a long career, a career 3.90 ERA.
He's 36. This is his 14th big league season, and he's the only player to play for a World Series champion, that was the Giants, and a Little League World Series champion. His Venezuelan team won the Little League World Series in 1994. The only person. Signed with the A's during the offseason, 1 year, $2.55 million deal for his 4th season with the team. Two and 1 on Andujar, who's 0 for 2.
Dreckman behind the plate again. I mean, that ball off the plate will drive you crazy as a hitter.
Gary Sanchez has a bat as Andujar lines it sharply to Canna, who hauls it in, almost got over his head for the 2nd out. And that's going to bring up Sanchez as they send him up to pinch it for Higashioka.
Secret weapon. That was an absolute rocket off of Miguel Andujar's bat. That just put it in the books, right?
Yeah, it still irritates me, Coney, to this day when you do everything right as a hitter. You know, it's hard enough to hit, but then when you hit a bullet just right at somebody.
Trip to the mound by the pitching coach, Scott Emerson. Yankees pinch hitting this year has been excellent. Their pinch hitters 8 for 26. An OPS of 1.048, 2 home runs, 10 ribbies. And the batting average for pinch hitters, home runs, #1 in Major League Baseball. So coming off the bench and getting it done. Sanchez with a pinch hit 2-run home run in Buffalo to win one of the 3 games. Last 17 games, he's a .333 hitter, 5 homers, and 11 runs batted in.
I'd say if you're Aaron Boone, you really like this matchup because Gary Sanchez's problem sometimes is catching up to a, mid-90s plus. And again, I don't know where this strike zone is right now, but Dreckman, that ball is 4 or 5 inches off the plate. There's nothing you can do. Back to my point, he is not overpowering. And other than the umpire helping him, Gary Sanchez should get a good swing in this at bat.
What's so odd to hear the stadium crowd chanting Gary Sanchez. And this is what he did against Ross Stripling. And that won the game for them. But this guy, David said this when the Yankees were in Minnesota, this is one of the most maligned and criticized players in recent memory. And you go on a little bit of a hot streak and all of a sudden they chant your name. That's how quickly it can turn. Green and Sessa. Two and two. You know, Bruce Dreckman, the home plate umpire, does not grade out well in terms of balls and strikes. In fact, he's in the bottom third of umpires. It's just not his strength.
Yeah, he's in the 18th percentile in overall accuracy, according to umpirescorecard.com.
2-2. Didn't give him that one. 3-2. So Urshela will go from first. 3-2, 2 outs. Gardner's on deck. Popped up. It was up there as Chapman pulls it in for the final out. No runs ahead, no errors, one man left on base. Will go to the 8th.
Pretty solid numbers, maybe a little high on the walk side.
There's a strike. High pop up. Shallow left, and Duhar calls off Torres. After the postgame, catch a new episode of Forbes Sports Money as Bob Lorenz and Mike Ozanian reveal the world's highest earning athletes. Plus, see an exclusive interview with New York Yankees president Randy Levine. That's tonight after the postgame right here on Yes. And here's the catcher, Sean Murphy. Top of the 8th inning, 5-3 A's. The only run in the game that was not via the home run was an RBI single by Mark Canha in the 3rd inning, driving home Elvis Andrus. 1st inning home run for Olsen, 3-run home run for Kemp. That was in the 6th. The Yankees, a 2-run home run for LeMahieu and a solo shot for Odor. 1-1. 1-2. One of the two lefties warming for the A's.
He's a tough lefty too. Boy, you talk about throwing across his body. And tough for left-handed batters to pick up.
Swing and a miss. Murphy down on strikes.
That's what you call walking the dog. At least jerking you. Good slider.
Funny, I said the other day in Philly when Sessa came in, and I want to know if you agree with me. I don't think strike one is as important to any pitcher on the whole rotation and the bullpen than it is Sessa. When he gets ahead, he pitches confidently. When he gets behind, he starts to nibble. But boy, when he gets strike one, he is a different pitcher.
It's a good read.
Well, this guy at the plate is the difference in the game right now. Yankees led 3-2 in the 6th inning, and Kemp hit a 3-run home run with 2 outs against Wandy Peralta. So far, that has held up. High fly ball, deep right, going back Judge. He's on the track, he'll put it away. And the A's are down 1-2-3 against Luis Sessa. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
Well, game 7 in any sport, just a different animal.
You know, Mike Vaccaro of the New York Post had a great column today. It's the biggest game 7 in Brooklyn since Yankees-Dodgers in 1956, when the Yankees won the World Series. And now the Nets have had a couple of game 7s, but you know, early rounds. This is pretty big for a team that was built to win a championship. So Brooklyn will be hopping. Clint Frazier pinch hits against Jake Diekman, the new A's pitcher. The 0-1. 0-2 on Frazier. You know, Paul, obviously Andujar hitting. Frazier is now coming off the bench. How difficult must it be for a young player to become a pinch hitter?
Well, it's hard as a veteran player, but I say one thing that I think Clint Frazier, and he's had that huge pinch hit in Toronto or in Buffalo, is that he's starting to feel the pressure of, you know, I had a job, I've kind of lost a job because Andujar is putting up numbers offensively. So all of a sudden now the pressure is on him almost every at bat, whether he's starting or whether it's a pinch hit.
Strike 3. Frazier down looking.
Boy, a pretty well pitched at bat here. Fastball, then a big slider, and then a fastball in the inside corner. Tough coming off the bench.
Here's LeMahieu. 1 for 3. One and one.
Start counting outs at this point in the game as the Yankees are now rolling over their lineup. DJ obviously leading off. Kind of feel like this is an important part of the game here, you know, even though it's not the 9th inning. Got Judge on deck and DJ LeMahieu. The A's got 5 outs to go here in a 2-run lead.
Still 2-2. Bottom of the 8th inning, 5-8-0 for the A's, 3-4-0 for the Yankees. Inside, skips rope, 3-2. DJ gets on. Judge comes up as the tying run against Diekman. And he's got to face Judge because he's got to face 3 batters. Ground ball to Lowry. Two away.
I don't know if it's the new rule or whatever, but I don't think in the history of baseball do I ever remember seeing mid to upper 90s lefties that they're really not matchup pitchers anymore. I mean, just power pitchers out of the bullpen from the left side. It used to be all lefties were slider, you know, trick pitchers to get out lefties. The new age of a lefty is a good slider right there, and then 96, 97 if you need it.
It's an excellent point, as that one-hitter lefty, the loogie lefty, as they say, is at home looking for it sort of filtered out of the game. They come in and throw a curveball, the Tony Fossas type.
Yep.
Lou Trevino warming for the A's in their bullpen. One and two on Judge. Judge today struck out twice and single to right field. A bloop single against James Caprillion. Foul back. There's the hard throwing Trevino.
In case you were wondering what a loogie lefty is, it's a left-hander, one out only reliever. As you said, Michael, those can't do that anymore. Against the rules.
Now, the way the rule is structured, if you in fact come on to get the final out of an inning and there's a lefty up, you bring in that lefty, he doesn't have to face 3. If he gets that guy out, he can leave the game and they can bring in a new pitcher. But in the middle of an inning, if you bring in a pitcher, he must face 3 batters unless there's an injury. We saw that in Buffalo.
You know, for years, the Yankees were looking for that one lefty to reliever to get David Ortiz out. Just one guy in the 8th inning.
Swing and a miss. Judge down on strikes as the Yankees go down in order against Diekman. And we'll take this baby to the 9th inning. It's 5-3 A's. Sessa worked a 1-2-3 8th, so he's out there for a second inning of work. Trying to hold it right here at 5-3 A's, top of the 9th. It'll be 9-1-2 in the Athletics order against the Yankee righty. One and 0. Judge has moved to center, and Frazier is in right. He had pinch hit for Gardner. Grounded to third. Urshela. One down. Well, fans, tomorrow afternoon on Yes, don't miss Game 2 of this weekend showdown in the Bronx. Now our coverage begins at noon with batting practice and then the pregame. Then first pitch is a little after 1. It's right here on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. Back to the top of the order, and Mark Canha, 2 for 3 with a walk, so he's been on base 3 out of 4 times, and that'll pump up his on-base percentage. He came into the game with a .374 on-base mark. There's a strike.
You know, Coney, I was going to ask you, and I forgot that, you know, when you looked at this division now, and, you know, the Yankees picked up some ground, but obviously still looking up at Boston and Tampa, it's a different division now if the Glasnow injury is, you know, a season-ending injury. I don't know if Tampa Bay can withstand an injury of your ace. And so, you know, not to put any less urgency on it, but to the Yankees to get back in this thing, Tampa is not the same team without Tyler Glasnow.
That's a big blow for them. He is that good and was pitching that well. Yankees have a lot of games left with the Red Sox. I have a feeling that those series coming up down the stretch run are going to be pretty important, as it should be.
I believe it's 16 more games.
Hey, we might even get a chance to go up to Fenway Park before it's over. You never know.
2-2.
Spectrum Mobile. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Just $45.
The 2-2 inside 3-2. Laureano is on deck. Did he go? Yes, he did. Kind of down on strikes, 2 away. Sessa has retired all 5 he's faced.
It's one of your favorite calls, Paul. Don't get any help.
Exactly. Just call it yourself. Yeah, got to think that's pretty much a swing right there, though, huh?
It would have been a double.
Laureano on the IL for 3 weeks. Came back, Wednesday's game. Hit a home run. Tonight he's 0 for 3 and was hit by a pitch. One and one. Who's coming up in the bottom of the 9th inning? We'll start with Gleyber Torres. Then Giancarlo Stanton and Giovanni Urshela. Line drive, base hit over the leaping try of Urshela as Andujar gets the ball in. So a 2-out single by Laureano. And now you have to face Olsen and his 19 home runs and 50 ribbies.
Say this, one thing I did not see coming. You know, we talked a lot about Miguel Andujar in left field and learning on the fly. He's got a good arm. Much better outfield arm than I think we ever realized.
Yeah, you're right, Coney. A lot of infielders can go out and make the plays in the outfield, but the arm strength usually isn't there. It's kind of something you gauge over the years, but he does. He throws the ball extremely well from left field.
Strike two, Matt Olson. Matt 1 for 4 tonight, and the one was long and loud. First inning home run into the second deck and right, solo shot.
You talk about Laureano liking, leads the team at 8 stolen bases, but with 2 outs and Olson at the plate, this is one time you just sit still. If you're Bob Melvin, sit still. Let Olson swing the bat just in case.
Sanchez wants to talk with Sessa. Well, if anybody could read Sanchez's lips when half of his mouth is covered by the mask, I mean,
Yeah.
you got it. Here, you got it. If you can read my lips now, you got it.
They ask, what are they talking about out there? Sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher right there when they do that.
One. Dribbled slowly up the first base line. Sessa fields and flips to LeMahieu, and they get Olson to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man. He's trail 5-3, bottom of the 9th inning. And the 2-3 batters in their order have gone into a little bit of a slump. Last 10 games, Judge hitting .216, a home run and 4 ribbies with 15 strikeouts. Torres, .205, and 1 ribby and 8 strikeouts. And they've been carrying the team for a while with their hot bats, and it's just hard to keep everybody in the lineup hot at the same time. There's going to be an ebb and flow, and right now Judge and Torres have struggled just a little bit. So here's Gleyber Torres to start it off against Lou Trevino. 11 of 13 in save opportunities. Perhaps too many walks for Trevino. 0-1. So Canna takes over in left. Brown is in right, so Kemp is out, moving to second for Lowry. And then Trevino is on the mound. Two and one. Well, the A's lost Liam Hendricks to the White Sox as a free agent. And their free agent pickup, Trevor Rosenthal, needed surgery for thoracic outlet syndrome before he ever pitched the game for the A's. There's a ground ball to short. Andrus. One. Because of that, Trevino stepped into the closer role, and you know what? He's having a pretty good year. And that's an expensive mistake for the A's with Rosenthal. They thought that he'd really be a lockdown closer, gave him decent money, and he never gets the pitch for them. So here's Giancarlo Stanton. One and 0.
If you look at the numbers, Trevino definitely has that kind of stuff that could be a closer. I mean, obviously 96 on his four-seam and his sinker, 93 on his cutter. So, I mean, that's pretty tough stuff to see out of the bullpen late in the game.
Yankees need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. On deck is Urshela. Fouled away. Tonight, Stanton is 0 for 3. A strikeout, ground ball to second, and a fly ball to left. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. 3-1. Didn't seem like Dreckman would even check with the first base ump. Refused to check. He just called it a ball.
You know, when umpires start to walk backwards, that's a signal to the home plate umpire that he didn't swing.
Swing and a miss.
See that a lot to first base and third base side. When umpires start to walk backwards down the line, that means that that's their signal. Did not go.
So if they don't walk backwards, they want the home plate umpire to check.
Yeah, they'll wait for the, if they do call them, that's a little signal that they're holding their position. Then they'll check. That's why home plate umpire didn't check there.
And he worked a walk. Big walk for Stanton. And that brings... Well, the WB Mason postgame is coming up right after the final out as our Yes Studio team brings you highlights, analysis, and clubhouse reactions from tonight's series opener, plus the manager's report with Aaron Boone. That's all coming up next right here on Yes. And then after the postgame, Forbes Sports Money, an exclusive interview with Yankees president Randy Levine. Outside. 1-0. Chapman's up in case we go to extra innings. Waved at that pitch a bit up in the zone. 96 miles an hour, four-seamer, 1-1.
Still a little curious. I mean, no pinch runner for Stanton at first.
You're pretty much base to base at this point, down 2 runs, but still, yeah, you always want to get that advantage to try to beat that double play or beat the throw to second.
Well, Murphy wants to talk with Trevino. Runner on first. 1 man out. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees trying to rally here with Urshela at the plate against Trevino. Yankees down by 2. Foul back, straight back. Odor is on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. So the at-bat stays alive. 3-2 with 1 out.
Could have gone either way.
Yep.
Not quite as far as Akana had, but that was worth a check.
Three-2. Grounded foul. fourth A's pitcher, former Yankee James Caprillion. He got the start. Then Petit, Diekman, and now Trevino trying to close it out. 3-2. Grounded up the middle. This could be two. There's one. There's two. And there's the ball game as the A's beat 3. So Kemp happily celebrating his 3-run home run. The difference in this. And the Yankees lose the first game of the homestand, first game of this 3-game set. We'll come back. We'll talk about it. Yankees had the lead for a bit, but that home run by Kemp turned it around. They held on. We'll be back.